Hey everyone, I'm in FIFA 23 and I want to show you how to request a transfer in player career mode. Now there's a couple of things that make this a little confusing. First of all, I'm going to answer the simplest question, which is where do you request a transfer? So what you need to do is you need to move over to My Pro when you're in player career mode. So I'm using RB to do that, that'd be R1 on the PlayStation. And then move over to Squad Hub and just above there, move to My Actions. And when that's highlighted with your left stick, press A button and you should come to this area. Now, you may have an option to request transfer or you may only have request loan and retire. So basically, if you're playing as a real player who's already on a contract, you should be able to request a transfer straight away when you start playing. If, however, you've created a player from scratch, you will not have this option until you've played at least 6 months for the game. Now, one of the problems that you've got with that is you need to play the game properly. If you simulate and just fast forward, you may either be automatically put as that you requested a loan, which is not the case, it's just a weird bug in the game, or it may even say you've requested a transfer, so you may get put on transfer list automatically. In the case of Salah here though, I've simulated the game for a little while. I've made the sort of coach quite grumpy, and I'll just show you what I did before, because when you request a transfer, which we'll do again in a second, you should get a notification from the boss man. So you can see here, a note to advise you I'm considering your request to be transfer listed. But then he followed up and said, I'll turn that down because that's in the best interests of the club. I then tried again a month later and he said, I'll consider it, and he turned it down again. So what I'm hoping now is third time lucky. So what can you do to push through your transfer request? You can basically start training badly, start playing badly in the game, and basically make your player quite rubbish. And then hopefully that will drive through a transfer request for you. So the other thing you need to do is if we flick over to season, you need to make sure that the transfer window is open. And if you look at the calendar, so I'll go in and press calendar here, on the right hand side you can see it says transfer window open. So there's only certain periods of the season where the transfer window is open. You can simulate through and go through here. So if I went to this one here, the transfer window is now closed. So if I fast forwarded to here, I wouldn't be able to submit a transfer request because we're closed. I keep going all the way through, and then eventually we'll come back to the transfer window being open. So that at least that's a little bit clearer than it was in FIFA 22. Anyway, let's put in a request and see what happens. So we'll go back to My Pro, go into Squad Hubs, hit My Actions, and we'll say request transfer. And he says, I'm considering the request. So we see that, and we should see after a few days of simulation, we should see some sort of response from him. So part of the problem that we've got here, if we look at My Actions here, is I'm still seen as crucial to the game. So if I was, or to the team, so if I was less, so if I could really get rubbish, and that drops down, I've got more likelihood of him sort of taking on the request. But we'll see what happens. So we'll advance a bit more and see what we've got. So if I stop the simulation there, go over to notifications, and we can see I've turned down that request as in the best interest of the football club. So I continue with my quest. So we will continue with this. So we'll advance again. So I'm going to have one more go at requesting. We're on transfer deadline day. Let's see what happens. So we'll do that. And then we'll go to advance 1 hour. Go here, notifications. To make you, at last, he says here will make me available. So because we're on deadline day, so we're good. So we've got the request in and he's accepted it. So now I'm transfer listed. So we're going to advance and see whether we get an offer. And again. Advance again. Check my notifications. Nothing yet. I'll advance again. Look, there's a rumour there for me. Salah to Dortmund. So we'll have a little look, see whether we got any notifications. Nothing yet, but there is a rumour. And here we go. Mohammed, I have received and accepted a bid for you from Borussia Dortmund. Let's review the offer. Now, you can either stall, accept, or reject the offer. So if I accept, away I go. You can see I've got the wage there. And the problem with the transfer request option is it's totally random who's going to come in for an offer for you. You know, you can either accept or reject. But because we're on deadline day and I want to move, I'm going to accept the offer. And then down the bottom here, I press confirm, do my little doodle, and away we go. We're off to Dortmund. So what we should now see is we're in the Bundesliga. There's my little movement in. In he goes. And we are with the new team. So that's how it works. So hopefully that makes all sense to you. And we can see we're all going through working out in the new team here. It's quite fun. And that's how it goes. So we'll skip that. And you can see now I'm in the BVB one here. So when I look at my team now, when I go to the squad hub, we are indeed part of this squad here. That's how it works. I hope that was useful to you. If it was, give us a big fat thumbs up, please. That's much appreciated. Any comments welcome. And I'll see you again in another video. If you like this sort of stuff, have a little look at the rest of my channel. I've got loads of tutorials on FIFA 23. Lots more planned. If there's anything you want to see that I don't already cover, hit me up with a comment and whether you'd like a shout out if I do your idea, and I'll do that for you, unless I've got it already planned, of course. Thanks so much for watching. Hit that subscribe if you'd like to be kept up to date with my future tutorials.